Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about our double kettlebell medium anchor clean, and we're going to turn that into a medium anchor clean and press. We could make this 2 videos, but I think that we're going to slam them together to make it more apparent about the rotation that's going to happen with this exercise. In kettlebelling, we have single arm kettlebell, we have double symmetrical moving kettlebells, and we focus on our fundamental 6, our cleans, our presses, our snatches, our squats, our Turkish get-ups, and our swings. Anchored is kind of a different form of lifting. You're intentionally making the lift not work well by dragging an anchor along with you the entire time. It's going to change a lot of your movement from a pure hip hinge, which most kettlebells is, to something that emphasizes a lot more on rotation. Previously, we have had low anchored cleans. One hand is not moving, it becomes an anchor. The other hand is moving. We evolved that clean into a clean and press. The anchor causes you to focus more on rotation and a little bit less on hip hinge. It's just changing things for the sake of variation. The more exercise variations you do within the fundamental 6, usually the better your overall general physical preparedness becomes. We did have a low anchor where one arm was down low. We also have a medium anchor where the anchor is in the rack position. Instead of having the anchor low, the anchor is now up high. You're going to see the problem with this immediately. If I try to do my normal hip hinge and go forward and snap my hips up, the heavier that weight is, I'm essentially doing a just totally horrible version of a good morning in the middle of this exercise. The easier way to do it is to try to not move this bell in space and to rotate your body to create a rotating hip hinge instead of a front to back hip hinge. 2 kettlebells up. This hand is going to be the anchor, and now I'm going to clean by rotating. I'm literally rotating my body that way, do the clean, snap up, come back to center. Rotate, come back to center, rotate, come back to center, rotate, come back to center. Same thing is true when we go into our clean and press. Rotate around the vertical axis, add the press. Rotate around the vertical axis, add the press. Rotate around the vertical axis, and add the press. Of course, if you anchor one side, you need to do an equal number of sets anchoring the other side. Anchor, focus on rotation, catch, focus on rotation, catch, focus on rotation. Add in the press. Rotate, press. Rotate, press. The key thing here is that the hand that is doing the anchor tries to stay as stable as possible. We want to avoid that barbell wrist. Keep your wrist up, rotate that body. Those fingers are staying pointed to the sky the entire time. I like to look at the anchored hand at the bottom of the movement because I feel that it emphasizes the rotation that I'm trying to get people to make. Medium anchor, low anchor, there will also be a high anchor. They're just much harder. Medium anchor is probably the most useful and fun one because you're simulating carrying a load on one side and doing a task with the other side. I find it to be a very good version of a workman's lift. Key point, focus on getting your power from the rotation and the driving of the leg. It stops being so much hip hinge, glute power, and it becomes leg drive and spinal rotation. Start with low numbers, start with low weights. If you start with big heavy weights, there's a lot of torque going on, and if you're not familiar with these weird rotations, you have the potential to hurt yourself. Start with a lightweight, start with sets of 3 to 5, do an equal number of sets on each side because we're always trying to build balance in the body and we are trying to avoid injury at all costs.